This month we're going to talk about exposure to harmful plants and critters. And when I say bugs and critters, I'm talking about anything that could bite or sting. Let's start off by talking about ticks. If you have a tick on you, you should remove it as soon as possible. If it's stuck down, you can use tweezers to grasp it as close to the skin as possible and try to remove it. You should disinfect the bitten area immediately and wash your hands. If a bullseye rash or any other symptoms develop, seek medical attention promptly. Ticks can carry illness like Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Lyme disease symptoms can be tiredness, stiff neck, fever, muscle aches, joint pain, circular rash kind of like a bullseye, and the picture on the left shows that. And Rocky Mountain spotted fever has symptoms like sudden fever, headaches, possible rash around your ankles and your wrist. And the 4 pictures on the right show a rash on an ankle. If you have been bitten by a tick and start developing symptoms, you should seek medical attention. Let's look at bees, wasps, and flies. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's flying around you. Some flies look a lot like bees and wasps. If you see a short, stubby antenna or really large eyes on the front rather than the side of the face, you're looking at a fly. If you get a close look and you notice the flies have only 2 wings, where bees and wasps have 4 wings. So on the right, you can see a close-up picture of a bee and a wasp. They have long antennae and 4 wings. In the bottom picture on the left, you can see that these are flies because they have short, stubby antennae and they all have 2 wings. Bug bites and stings for the most part are kind of annoying but basically harmless. Occasionally an insect bite or sting can cause serious problems though. This happens when someone is allergic to them or has an allergic reaction to them. So you should know when a simple ice pack can bring some relief and when you need to visit a clinic or a hospital. When you get stung by a bee or wasp, it will cause an immune response. You can have a localized allergic reaction that has symptoms like swelling, heat, and itching that's going to be around that area that you were stung or bitten. Or you can have a symptomatic allergic reaction, which that means the venom causes a reaction throughout your body, and you may have symptoms like you break out in hives, you start wheezing, you have shortness of breath, a rapid heartbeat, you may feel faint, you could have swelling of the face, lips, throat, or tongue. And if that happens, that's a sign of a severe allergic reaction, and you need to get to a clinic or hospital as soon as possible. A lot of people know if they have a severe allergy to something and carry an EpiPen with them. If you or someone around you has a severe allergic reaction to something and uses their EpiPen, that person should go to the emergency room right after. Allergic reactions may need further monitoring, and some people will need more than 1 dose of epinephrine or need other emergency treatments. We also have mosquitoes. Mosquitoes can be found anywhere people, food, or pools of water can be found. Generally, they are nothing to worry about. They bite you, you itch, end of story. But sometimes infected mosquitoes can give people diseases like West Nile virus. That was real big in the news a few years ago. The good news is that most people, especially healthy people under 50 who get West Nile virus, do not have any symptoms from it. And less than 1% of people infected will have a serious illness from it. And we have spiders. Most spider bites are minor, although they can cause mild swelling or allergic reactions. Even a low-risk spider like the ones in the bottom picture can cause some people to have a reaction. We have brown recluse and black widow bites. They're going to be more dangerous. If you think you've been bitten by one of these spiders, you should see a doctor and get treatment immediately. Black widow spiders have a shiny black body and an orange-red hourglass shape on their underbelly. And here's a picture of a black widow spider on the left-hand side. Brown recluse spiders are brown with a small violin-shaped area on its back. Their bites usually don't hurt at first, and most people don't even know they've been bitten till it's too late. You can see that picture on the right-hand side, and you can see the small violin shape on its back. We also have fire ants. They bite and sting. They are aggressive when stinging and injecting venom, which causes a burning sensation. It can also cause red bumps to form where they've stung you. You're going to seek medical attention if a sting causes severe chest pain, nausea, severe sweating, loss of breath, serious swelling, or slurred speech. And here's a picture of some fire ants and an ant mound. Those ant mounds seem like they pop up out of nowhere, and they're everywhere. And before you know it, you're either standing on top of one or beside of one, and you don't even realize it until you feel the burning from the sting. So how do we prevent bites and stings? Well, we need to use repellent. Always follow those instructions and don't use more of the product than you need. It's not going to give you any extra protection. If you need to use sunscreen and repellent at the same time, you should apply the sunscreen first and repellent second. And if you're doing a sweaty job or something that's going to cause you to get wet, you should reapply every so often. Don't disturb bee or wasp nests. And as hard as it is to do this, don't swat at buzzing insects. This will make them want to sting you. You can remove standing water from bird baths and buckets, things like that are going to hold water. Try to stay inside when mosquitoes are most active, and that's going to be around dawn and dusk. And wear insect repellent when outside. When in tick country, stay in the center of trails and avoid woody areas with high grass. Check yourself for ticks every few hours. Remove any you find immediately, and you should shower when you come inside for the night. Wear light colors and long sleeves and pants. Tuck pants into socks, shirts into pants, and sleeves into gloves, and you don't have a lot of exposed skin to get bit or stung. We also have poisonous snakes. Mostly in our area we have rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, or copperheads. If you see a snake, you should just leave it alone. Watch where you put your hands and your feet. And if you're out in a snaky area, use good judgment. You should wear snake leggings or snake boots if you have them. And even if you see a snake that looks dead, don't bother it. 2/3 of people bitten saw the snake before being bitten, but attempted to kill, collect, or harass it. If you are bit by a snake, you need to get immediate medical attention. Now we're going to talk about harmful plants. And when I say harmful plants, I'm talking about something that you could have an allergic reaction to. In our area, that's most likely going to be poison ivy or poison oak. So poison ivy can grow as a vine or a small shrub trailing along the ground, or it can climb on low plants, trees, and poles. Each leaf usually has 3 leaflets with a smooth or toothed edge. Leaves are reddish in the spring, green in the summer, and yellow-orange or red in the fall. And they could have greenish-white flowers and berries growing on them. So I tried to put a picture of the different examples here on the left side. So that top left picture shows the reddish-orange leaves. The top right picture shows some of the berries that can grow. And then that little picture under the berries is showing where the flowers are growing out of the leaves. And then the bottom picture is showing the green leaves with a vine that is climbing up the tree. I'm sure everybody has seen some of this at some time or another. We also have poison oak. Poison ivy and poison oak look a lot alike. The poison oak leaves look a lot like oak tree leaves. And poison oak can grow as a low shrub. It can grow in tall clumps or long vines. And the leaves are in clusters of 3, and they're going to be lobed or deeply toothed with rounded tips. And sometimes those leaves on poison oak are going to have a smooth hair underneath. And they also grow the yellow-white berries or flowers. So I put some pictures on here to show you some examples of poison oak. And the bottom picture shows the oak-like leaves, and that top right picture shows the flowers that can grow just like the poison ivy. And the left picture shows roots from the poison oak that can grow on trees. And it looks dry or dead, but it's not. If you touch it or grab it, you can still have an allergic reaction because the oils are still in there. Here's some tips to prevent a reaction from poison ivy or poison oak. You need to learn what poison ivy and poison oak plants look like so you can avoid them. Wash your tools and gloves regularly. Wear long sleeves, long pants, and gloves. Wash your skin in soap and cool water as soon as possible if you come in contact with poison ivy or poison oak. The sooner you cleanse your skin, the greater the chances that you can remove that plant oil and help prevent future spread. And if you're out where there's no soap and water, if you have some kind of sanitizer or sanitizing wipes with alcohol in it, you can use that. Or if you have a first aid kit with alcohol wipes, you can wipe off with those too. You should use topical products like Ivy Block if you know you're going to come in contact with poisonous plants. A lot of times you don't know until it's too late though. Here's a few tips to treat a poison ivy or poison oak rash. You don't want to scratch the blisters because the bacteria from under your fingernails can get into that blister and cause an infection into that open skin. The rash, blisters, and itch normally disappear in several weeks without any treatment, but you can relieve the itch by using a wet compress or soaking in a cool water. And some people will add oatmeal or baking soda to that water to help with the itching. You can also apply an over-the-counter topical medicine like hydrocortisones, antihistamines, and calamine lotion. A poison ivy rash is not contagious. Rash cannot spread from person to person. Oil that can be stuck to clothing, pets, tools, and other items that have come into contact with plants, and that's how it can be transferred to you again or to someone else. The plant oil lingers on virtually any kind of surface until it's washed off with water or rubbing alcohol, and those oils can last on a surface for over a year if they haven't been cleaned. So you can come in contact with poison ivy or poison oak in the summer, and those oils can be on your gloves or your tools, and you can use those items 6 months, maybe a year later, and there's a chance those plant oils are still on them and you could be exposed to poison ivy or poison oak again. The rash will only occur where the plant oil has touched the skin, so a person with poison ivy can't spread it on the body by scratching. I know I grew up believing that. I can remember my mom telling me if you scratch, it will spread, and that's not the case. Even if a blister breaks, the fluid in the blister is not plant oil, and it can't further spread the rash. And different people are going to have different reactions to poison ivy and poison oak. So I may get a single blister where someone else will break out all over from it. If you have any questions or comments, I'll try to answer them. You can come see me in the lab building, or you can call me at extension 104. My name is Mary Beth.